Part 11. The Strongest Assassin in the Server. Author, B.A. Wangshi-san. Chapter 101. You know, the blood tree has only one life. Once it dies, it is dead and cannot be resurrected. If it is planted in the wild, if that fool kills it, Yechen will have no place to cry. After purchasing, Yechen went straight to his personal warehouse. The warehouse is a special space with a length, width, and height of 5 yards. Of course, this is a gift from the system. You can continue to expand it by spending money, but it is RMB. In this special space, players can control it with their minds and place items at will. You can even buy some bookshelves and tables and chairs to make this space just tidy. Yechen took out the big flower pot and placed it in the middle, and then cut his finger with a dagger. -15, the blood dripped on the blood tree seed, and the system prompt came from his ear. System, you have successfully completed the binding with the blood tree seed. Please use blood to help it grow and upgrade, so as to get feedback power. Yechen smiled, buried the seed in the soil, and then continued to irrigate with blood. Soon, the sapling broke out of the soil and grew vigorously. Yechen took drugs and cut his blood for it to drink. Soon, the sapling grew to 1 meter long. The top of the sapling squeezed out a blood ball like milking, and then flew straight into Yechen's forehead. At the same time, the system prompt came again. System, your blood tree seed has grown into a blood tree. The current level is LV1. You get the following feedback power: strength add 1%, intelligence add 1%, physical strength add 1%, agility add 1%, spirit add 1%. Yechen was overjoyed again. This feedback power was actually added as a percentage, not just an attribute. This has more potential, and the increase will be greater as his own attributes improve. The guy in the previous life was completely a reckless man with courage but no strategy. Before the blood tree grew to the point where it had no derived intelligence, he also played very well and finally reached the holy level, above level 80, obviously thanks to the feedback power of the blood tree. As for when the blood tree will develop intelligence and evolve into a tree demon, Yechen doesn't know, but it doesn't matter. Now the blood tree belongs to him, and he can cultivate it slowly. Because potions have a cooling time, and it's not short, Yechen spent a full 2 hours to upgrade the blood tree to level 10. The feedback power he obtained also increased from 1% to 10%. This made his overall attributes have a larger increase. But he didn't dare to let the blood tree grow anymore, because the LV10 blood tree has reached 5 yards and has become very strong. Its tip has reached the top of this space. I was afraid that my blood was not enough, so I bought some empty bottles and planned to collect the blood of wild beasts to feed it. I didn't expect this guy to grow so fast. Yechen smiled slightly. If he wanted to upgrade the blood tree again, he would need to expand the warehouse first, but he was short of money now. But there was no need to be so anxious. The 10% attribute increase was already very good. He could put the blood tree upgrade aside for now. Of course, the collection of beast blood can continue. After all, the efficiency of bloodletting is too low. Using the blood of beasts, pouring bottles one by one, will be much faster. After coming out of the warehouse, Yechen did not rush to find the old appraiser. It was less than 2 hours away from midnight in the morning. After he changed his job to assassin, his strength will be strengthened, and it will be easier to complete any tasks at that time. After changing his job to assassin, although there is no increase in attributes, there will be 3 more initial skills, the initial skills of assassins. This is the case with hidden professions. It will not increase your attributes against the sky, but only open a skill tree and give you 3 initial skills. The rest of the skills need to be collected by yourself. Of course, opening a skill tree will not erase your original skill tree. This is the case when a thief changes his job to an assassin. This is the case when a berserker changes his job to a fury warrior. This is the case when a knight changes his job to a blood knight. There are also fire mages who can be turned into fire controllers, ice mages who can be turned into ice controllers, and so on. This belongs to the advancement of professions. Of course, in addition to these advanced hidden professions, there are also some individual hidden professions. After completing some hidden tasks, you can also change your profession, such as summoning professions. Summoning professions are all hidden professions. For example, necromancers, tamers, etc., they can summon a large number of monsters or pets to fight. They are too powerful. If they are not hidden professions, they will even affect the balance of the game to some extent. There are also holy word mages like high priests. He transcends the four systems of fire, ice, light, and darkness, and is also an individual hidden profession. Such individual hidden professions have advantages and disadvantages. The disadvantage is that after they change their professions, no matter what your original profession is, no matter how advanced your skills are, they will all be wiped out. When the original profession is eliminated, the skill tree of that profession is also eliminated. All the hard work and sweat in the past are in vain. Of course, there are also advantages, that is, their skills are very powerful and the percentage is higher. In the previous life, the question of which one was stronger, the advanced hidden profession or the individual hidden profession, was always a topic of endless debate. Similar posts appear on the front pages of major game forums and forums every day. But they argued for several years and could not come up with an answer, nor could they come up with an answer. Because the most powerful is always the player. An incredible player, even if he plays an ordinary traditional profession, he is still awesome. Just like the god of thieves, he is still a thief until the end. With his ability, it is impossible for him to fail to get the top spot once a month. On the contrary, he can get it easily. But he just wouldn't turn. Someone asked him, why not switch to a stronger assassin? He said, now I can kill one person with one sword easily. If I turn into an assassin again, I have to collect and practice skills again. It's troublesome. If I have that time, I might as well steal a few mythical beasts for fun. No matter what others think, Yuchen is an assassin and vows to develop this profession to the extreme. In the previous life, the thief god and a few top gods, no more than one pair of hands, stood on the top of the pyramid, overlooking the world. But even if they are stronger than them, they cannot completely crush foreign countries. It can even be said that they lose more than they win. Otherwise, thief god's defiance of the heavens would not have caused such a huge sensation. But this time, Yuchen must break that shackles. Let China also have a taste of the victorious general. At the last moment, he went to the Tower of Death and discussed the philosophical issues of life with nothingness. November 1st, 0M. System, this month's Alliance contribution list has been refreshed. Congratulations on becoming the chief of the Assassins Alliance last month, and gaining the inheritance and advancement of the profession. Please go to any branch of the Assassins Alliance and find the person in charge to receive the reward. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 102. When Yuchen rushed to the Assassins Alliance, he found that countless thieves had blocked the door and were surrounded by a sea of people. Do you know that the top spot in our Assassin League last month was not the two great gods Mingtian and Susha, but an anonymous player? Yes, I paid special attention to it. At that time, the great god Mingtian had given up and fully cooperated with the great god of blood killing. But in the end, guess what? The blood killing was still 1,000 less than the anonymous great god's contribution. Tisk, that's awesome. I don't know who took the lead, but all the thieves around him started talking about this topic. Yuchen smiled slightly, sneaked up, quietly squeezed forward, found the person in charge of the alliance, and directly completed the job transfer. Searched Khan on Google. System, you change your profession to become an assassin and learn the following initial skills: finishing blow, murderous intent, and killing mark. Finishing blow. Passive effect: when attacking normally and hitting the target, 1 combo point will be added. When a skill attacks and hits the target, 2 to 5 combo points will be added based on the skill level and damage intensity. Combo points can be increased to a maximum of 7 points. Active effect: when releasing a skill, clear all combo points and release the skill at the same time. The more combo points, the higher the damage of the finishing blow. Hidden effects currently enabled, requires 7 combo points. Use sap to trigger a finishing blow, creating a group shock effect. Use a thrust to trigger a finishing blow, producing a heart-piercing effect. Use the throw to trigger a finishing blow, producing a killing effect. Note, this skill cannot be upgraded. CD, 15 seconds. Murderous Aura, LV1 instantly cast, releasing terrifying murderous aura, intimidating the enemy, reducing all enemy attributes by 1%, duration, 30 seconds, CD, 60 seconds. Killing mark, LV1 passive skill: when attacking an enemy, there is a chance to plant a killing mark on the enemy, lasting 5 seconds. During this time, kill the enemy, and in the next 5 seconds, all attributes will be increased by 10%. After looking at the attributes of the 3 initial skills, Yuchen suddenly became excited. In his previous life, he had never been ranked among the league's rankings, let alone the chief. He couldn't even think about it. Therefore, he has never personally experienced the power of the assassin, but now, just by taking a brief look at the attributes of these 3 initial skills, the power of the assassin has been revealed. Needless to say, the finishing blow is the sole skill of the assassin. For assassins and thieves, all output skills will be increased, especially after accumulating 7 combo points. The hidden effect will be triggered, which is even more abnormal. Murderous Aura is a buff skill. It does not generally increase one's own buff, but weakens the enemy's buff. This is completely different. You know, for the increase, 100% is not the upper limit. That is, it only doubles the damage, 200% doubles the damage, 500% increases the damage 5 times. But to weaken the enemy, 100% is the upper limit. In other words, all the enemy's attributes are gone, extremely terrifying. Of course, there are very few buffs that weaken the enemy, and the degree of weakening is not very high. For example, Murderous Aura, LV1 Murderous Aura only weakens 1% of the enemy's entire attributes. The final kill mark is also very effective. After planting a mark on the enemy and then killing it, you can get a powerful boost within a short period of time. At the same time, the killing mark is a bright red mark. After the enemy is marked, the mark will be visible even if he is invisible. In this case, Yuchen can find the enemy based on the mark and kill him. Its effect vaguely conflicts with Yuchen's blood-colored eyes, but the range of the blood-colored eyes is only 30 yards. In the early days, 30 yards was not too short, but it was definitely not long either. But in the later stage, after the player's attributes are enhanced, 30 yards is nothing, and can be passed by in an instant. So in the later stage, the blood-colored eyes are of no use. In the early stage, the triggering probability of the killing mark was not high enough, so for Yuchen, these 2 skills can currently complement each other. After changing jobs, he updated his letter of introduction. Night God's letter of introduction, Purple Quality Assassins League, Chief Assassin. High-end and classy atmosphere. Yuchen chuckled and flipped through this month's contribution tasks to see if the S-level tasks had been refreshed. You know, after a player gets the Alliance leader once, there is no need to compete for the leader. In the previous life, a great master tried it. He got the top spot for 2 consecutive months, but the second time, he didn't get any feather rewards. Therefore, Yuchen does not need to pursue the chief position in the future, but the rewards for the top few are also good. Taking care of S-level tasks every month and being among the top, it also gives you experience and rewards, which is quite satisfying. Theft, Suanweo scales, S-level mission according to intelligence, the mythical beast Suanweo left behind a beast soul, called the Suanweo beast soul, which is currently located in ancient ruins. Mission goal, steal Suanweo scales, mission reward, 5 million experience rewards, 5 gold coins, contribution value, points. Damn it, you actually stole Suanweo. Yechen couldn't help but smile bitterly. He originally thought that seeing a mirage was very rare, and he was planning to release the news about Suanweo and sell it for money. Who knew that the system was so shameless that it would leak the news about Suanweo through a mission? The Assassin's Alliance has a Suanweo mission, and other alliances will definitely have corresponding missions. In other words, it won't be long before Suanweo's location will be known to the world. At that time, the major guilds will take the lead in organizing and will attack Suanweo. Although, at the current level of the players, most of them can't even break Suanweo's defense, but even if they can't break the defense, as long as the attack hits, they will be forced to deduct 1 HP. If hundreds of millions of players attack at the same time, Suanweo will have to kneel. Of course, this is just a theory. In fact, most players haven't been able to get close to Suanweo. If it blows a little, it will kill millions of people in seconds. So, Suanweo will be killed sooner or later, but the players will also suffer heavy losses. As for this mission, Yechen doesn't plan to do it. It's just a mission, and he doesn't want to be dropped back to level 0. Turning around, Yechen walked out of the Assassin's Alliance and came to the appraisal office again. "Young man, you are finally here." The old appraiser smiled and said, "I intend to take Zhangyaya as my apprentice, but before that, I need to test her appraisal talent. I have the crystal ball, and I need a kind of ethereal spring water. In the Yunweo Mountains, there is a stream with this kind of spring water. If you use an empty bottle to get some for me, I will give you a certain reward." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, Ba Wang Shi-san. Chapter 103. System, congratulations on triggering the task of collecting ethereal spring water, level B difficulty. Do you accept it? Yes. Yechen accepted it decisively and immediately got up to go to the cloudy mountains. Google searched Can. More than half an hour later, a majestic mountain appeared in front of Yechen, with clouds and mist lingering in the mountains, like a fairyland. At the foot of the mountain, there are many charming fox demons. This monster has the same soul enchanting skills as the beautiful snake. But it is much stronger. It is called Charm, which is an active skill, that is, the fox demon can actively release skills to make the enemy fall into a state of confusion. At the same time, this cloudy mountains is different from the ancient ruins. There are many monsters here, which is a very popular leveling map at this stage. At this time, there are many players here to brush fox demons, and a few teams are using traps to catch fox demons. Yechen was not interested, so he sneaked into the deep mountains and found that there were many big monkeys flying in the clouds and mist, floating in the air. Psychic Stone Monkey, ordinary monster. Level, 13. HP, 550/550. Skills, Clear Eyes, Stick Hit, Flying in the Clouds. Speaking of Psychic Stone Monkeys, the first thing that comes to mind is naturally our Monkey King Sun Wukong. Of course, these Psychic Stone Monkeys are definitely not Sun Wukong. Legend has it that they are transformed from Sun Wukong's monkey hair. Although they are not as awesome as Sun Wukong, they have inherited some of his abilities. Yes, only a little bit. The Monkey King has fiery eyes and golden pupils. They have clear eyes, and can see through invisible players or monsters within level 20. The Monkey King has a golden hoop. They have iron sticks, 4 players at this stage. A stick hit skill is also very painful. The Monkey King has Somersault Cloud. They also have Somersault Cloud, but the effect is very rubbish, and can only float in the air for 0.5 yards, but the skill of flying in the clouds is very good. This is a charge skill, and the damage is considerable if you suddenly hit it. In addition, killing these spiritual stone monkeys has a very small chance of exploding the Somersault Cloud, which is a special item that allows players to enjoy the feeling of floating in the air and has the skill of flying in the clouds. In general, it is a very good thing. At this stage, there are also many players who form teams to brush the spiritual stone monkeys and try to explode the Somersault Cloud. In the previous life, Yechen also squatted and brushed the spiritual stone monkeys for a few days, but nothing exploded, which shows how low the explosion rate of the Somersault Cloud is. Because of this, the price of the Somersault Cloud has also been driven up by some unscrupulous businessmen. This led to Yechen playing Dream World for 2 years in the previous life, but he didn't feel the feeling of a Somersault Cloud. So in this life, Yechen is also very interested in making a Somersault Cloud to play with, to make up for the regrets of the previous life. But not now. He has a mission now, and there are many things waiting for him to do, so he has no spare time to squat and brush the spiritual stone monkey. At worst, when he has money in the future, he will buy one. Because the psychic stone monkeys have the passive skill of clear vision, they can see the invisible Yechen. Soon, several big monkeys rode on the Somersault Cloud and flew towards Yechen. Yechen wanted to try the power of the new skills, especially the final blow. So he did not retreat, but went forward. Stun. 630. System: you hit the enemy with a stun, combo points add 5. Yechen's damage was too high, and he killed the psychic stone monkey with a stun. The super high damage will make his combo points accumulate very quickly. Then, he slashed twice and easily killed another psychic stone monkey. At this time, his combo points have reached 7 points, the maximum value. Run. Stab, backstab. Final blow. Yechen ran like lightning, and after passing several yards, he suddenly turned and came to the back of the last psychic stone monkey, stabbed it with a backstab, and also used the final blow. In an instant, the big monkey was hit on the back, and a red stream of light penetrated directly from its back, shot through the chest, and extended for several yards. -2800. The damage overflowed, and the psychic stone monkey couldn't die anymore. Is this the heart-piercing effect? It's awesome. Yechen was stunned. In his previous life, how could he have such a good time? When he was level 13, he didn't dare to single-handedly brush the psychic stone monkey. However, now, he is only level 11. Not only can he kill it instantly, but the damage is overflowing. After sighing for a while, Yechen still didn't feel satisfied, so he accumulated full combo points again and tested the stun and throat smear respectively. Stun and final blow, additional group shock effect. In an instant, a shock wave was generated. The monster that was hit, within a yard, actually caused an earthquake and brought damage. Obviously, the earthquake has a certain chance of stunning the enemies within the range, and the final blow cannot be upgraded. So the higher the level of the stun stick, the stronger the stunning effect caused by the earthquake, and the greater the shock wave will definitely be. Throat slitting and final blow, with an additional killing effect. This is a pure killing move. When the dagger cuts down, a red stream of light flashes, and the damage is off the charts. Even if the one-hit kill effect is not triggered, Yechen's throat slitting has become very powerful. After the test, Yechen felt refreshed and no longer bothered the spiritual stone monkey. After deliberately bypassing it, he quickly found the stream with empty spring water according to the system map. He happened to have an empty bottle in his hand, so he filled one, put it away, and prepared to crush it and return to the city. This chapter is not over yet, please click the next page to continue reading. Suddenly, a beast roar came from afar, and the sound was very faint when it came to him. But it was not difficult for him to distinguish that it was the roar of the boss. He, go and have a look. Ye Chen smiled slightly. Thieves, even assassins, are incompetent in brushing boss and playing dungeons, but they are the masters of the battlefield and the kings of the wild. Who is not afraid of coming and going without a trace? And Ye Chen, he is an assassin, not an ordinary assassin. He can fight boss and brush dungeons, but in the future battlefield and the current wild, he is still the king, and the king of kings. Isn't it just killing people and robbing monsters? He is afraid of nothing. There is no justice and evil in the game, everything is based on strength. Since you have the strength and you happen to meet the boss, why not rob? You know, now any level 10 purple equipment costs hundreds of dollars. Not to mention, the experience of the boss is also very tempting. Stealth. Ye Chen decisively hid himself and followed the roar. Soon he came to a small canyon, which was shrouded in clouds and mist, and the vision was greatly reduced. Among them, there was a huge monkey riding on an equally huge somersault cloud. You know, the general spiritual stone monkey is only more than 1 yard long. Even if it rides on the somersault cloud, it is still a little lower than the average altitude of the players. But this boss, 2 yards tall, riding on the somersault cloud, looks even taller. It was wearing armor, flying in the clouds, ruthlessly waving a big iron rod, madly harvesting the lives of a team in front of it. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 104. At this time, the formation of that team had collapsed and was staggering. The total number of people was less than 30, estimated to be only about 15. Of course, the boss was not easy to deal with less than half of its HP left. Ye Chen took a closer look and found that this team was actually familiar, but it was not a good thing. It was led by Deng Liang. Damn it, it was him. Kill him. Ye Chen smiled in surprise. If it was any other team, he might have held back, killed a few of the other team members and drove them away, and then took down the boss himself. Google searched Can. But for Deng Liang, he must kill them all. Ye Chen glanced at the duration of stealth and found that there was still half a minute of cooldown. He simply waited for more than 10 seconds, and then moved towards the back row of the other team and came to a priest girl. The girl couldn't see him, and was still adding blood to Deng Liang, and she said in a coquettish voice, "Baby, come on. Baby." In the darkness, Ye Chen was confused. How could a guy like Deng Liang deserve such a high-end title as baby? At this moment, Ye Chen's stealth cooled down, and he emerged from the darkness. At the same time, at this moment, he launched a murderous aura. Suddenly, an unparalleled hostility came from him, which scared the girl. She didn't expect that a man would suddenly appear in front of her, and he was very close to her. The strong masculine breath rushed over, making her body tremble. Stealth. Ye Chen used stealth again, and his figure faded quickly. It seemed that he was about to disappear. How could the girl accept it? Immediately, a staff hit his head. -9. System, you have been maliciously attacked by the player Big Breasts and No Brains. Within 30 minutes, you can make a legal counterattack. At the same time, you can also make a legal counterattack against the team that the player belongs to. Big breasts mean no brains. It's really appropriate. Ye Chen glanced at the bulge on the girl's chest, curled his lips, and then slashed the girl's delicate neck with a knife without mercy. Of course, this is not a throat-slitting skill, just hitting a priest. Why does he need to use skills? Easily killing a priest in seconds, Ye Chen rolled on the ground, and with the cover of the clouds, he disappeared again. There are thieves. Kill our priest. Deng Liang's furious roar came out, and a group of men immediately looked around, but the clouds here were really too big, and they couldn't lock the murderer's position for a while. Coupled with the threat of the boss, they could only hold their hearts and continue to attack the boss. Ye Chen also showed the patience that an assassin should have. He quietly hid behind a cloud and waited for 5 seconds. After exiting the combat state, he entered invisibility again. Of course, when he quit the battle, his accumulated combo points also started to drop, 1 point per second. He only had 1 point just now, and it was cleared at this moment. But he didn't need combo points to kill Deng Liang and his men. Then, he rushed to another priest again, and naturally wiped him out ruthlessly. You damn thief, get out of here, Deng Liang roared in exasperation, but the answer to him was still deathly silence. In this way, Ye Chen was like the god of death in the dark, harvesting a life every 5 seconds. After a minute, only Deng Liang and 2 shield warriors were left on the opponent. After losing the priest, the shield warriors were obviously unable to withstand the boss, and they all advised, "Brother Liang, this thief is very strong, let's admit our bad luck and retreat." Deng Liang was angry, but he didn't completely lose his mind. He waved his hand and ordered a retreat. But at this moment, he felt a strong wind blowing, and then his throat felt cold. It turned out that his throat was cut, -980. As the huge damage emerged, Ye Chen showed up. Ye Chen, Deng Liang's eyes were filled with resentment and disbelief, but his throat had just been cut, so he couldn't speak for a while. Good equipment, but too slow to react. Ye Chen smiled coldly, and slashed with his backhand, easily killing Deng Liang. At the same time, the 2 shield warriors also opened their positions, one on the left and one on the right, and rushed towards Ye Chen with shields. Stun. Ye Chen separated Xiao He from his body, and rushed up to meet the enemy on the left and right, both of them stunned the enemy. Breaking Wuju. Poisoning. Ye Chen calmly applied the buff, and then attacked fiercely, easily killing the shield warrior in seconds. Xiao He followed suit and killed the shield warrior in the same way. Before the guy died, he was still confused. He had nothing in front of him, so who killed me? After the battle was resolved, Ye Chen did not dare to rush forward to face the boss, so he ordered Xiao He to attack. Xiao He, attack. After the combo points are full, go around the back of the boss and backstab and finish the attack. Ye Chen tried to command Xiao He. You know, Xiao He's intelligence is not high at present, like a child. As Ye Chen's shadow, it usually follows Ye Chen to attack very smoothly, but it is very difficult to let it fight alone, and the skills are not smooth. In other words, after Xiao He leaves him, he is a loser. But even so, it is invincible. Even if the boss is attacked by it, it can't detect its existence, and the hatred instantly locks on Ye Chen who is closest to it. It seems that it is not familiar with the new skill of the finisher. Seeing that Xiao He had hit a few times and indeed went around to the back of the boss, but when it backstabbed, it did not use the final blow together. Ye Chen couldn't help but smile bitterly, and then saw the boss rushing towards him, and hurriedly ran away. After the club cooled down, he rushed up and overlapped with Xiao He, knocked the boss out with a club, and then cut its throat. After using up 2 skills, the combo points also reached 6 points. Then he went around to the back of the boss, and after a normal attack, backstab and final blow. -1800. A stream of red light shot out from the boss's abdomen, and it instantly lost its vitality with a low blood. With a bang, it fell to the ground with the somersault cloud. The golden light did not flash out, which proved that the first blood of this boss had been taken away by someone. After all, it was a boss in a popular map, and it was normal to be killed by someone. Ye Chen didn't care. He squatted down and glanced at the items it dropped, and his eyes widened instantly. Somersault cloud. It actually exploded into a somersault cloud, and it was not an ordinary somersault cloud. Expanded somersault cloud, special item can be written, movement speed add 10%, additional skill, flying in the clouds. Expanded somersault cloud. Yachen's forehead was black. Couldn't the planner of this game spend a little more time to think of a more elegant name? After a little complaining, Yachen was ecstatic. Not only did the regret of his previous life get satisfied, but he also made a more awesome somersault cloud. Then, he released the expanded somersault cloud. Wow, it was the same size as the one the boss rode just now, like a big sponge, with a diameter of 3 yards. Yachen jumped on it and felt his butt bounce. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 105. What is the concept of 3 yards? It is simply an extra large, extra soft, extra comfortable bed. Yachen rolled around on the big sponge, but he couldn't fall off. It was too big. Awesome. Ordinary somersault clouds are only 1 yard in size, so you have to sit upright and fall off if you are not careful. With this one, you can lie down, stand, sleep, rotate, roll, you won't fall off no matter what you do. Yachen played on the somersault cloud like a curious baby. Then, he swept away all the other spoils of the boss and the items dropped by Deng Liang and others. Then, he rode the somersault cloud to swing in the Yunwu Mountains. His agility was very high, and this expanded somersault cloud had a 10% movement speed bonus compared to the ordinary somersault cloud. In this way, his speed was even faster. I'll go show off first. After becoming proficient in the somersault cloud, Yachen became playful and was no longer in a hurry to return to the city. He rode the somersault cloud back to the foot of the mountain, where the spiritual stone monkey spawned. As if driving a hover car, Yachen wandered back and forth 3 times in front of everyone's shocked eyes. Everyone stared at him with their mouths wide open, as if they had seen a ghost. They were stunned for 2 or 3 seconds, as if time had stopped. Immediately, there was a crazy explosion. That's the somersault cloud? Why is it so big? When we were struggling to brush the psychic stone monkey and fantasized about exploding a somersault cloud, someone had already ridden the somersault cloud's father. Handsome brother, can you let me ride the somersault cloud? It's soft and easy to push down. Brothers, this guy is pretending to be cool with us. Kill him. For a while, the psychic stone monkey monster area was completely detonated, and countless players beat their chests and stamped their feet, expressing their size. What's more, they formed gangs and factions, and immediately gathered a large number of people, chasing Yachen viciously. It's too much. Yachen looked back and found that the number of people was like a wave. He didn't dare to pretend anymore. He quickly put away the somersault cloud and then crushed the teleportation stone. A flash of white light, Yachen returned to Bayun City, holding his stomach and laughing non-stop. You know, in his previous life, when he was still a novice player, he often teamed up with some other novice players to brush the spiritual stone monkey. Then, every day there would always be some high-end players riding on the somersault cloud to show off. Yachen still remembers the depressed mood at that time. Fortunately, now he also showed off. After playing, Yachen found the appraisal old man and handed in the task. After the old man praised, he took out a special instrument, put the crystal ball on it, and then passed the empty spring water on the crystal ball. Suddenly, the spring water became clearer and brighter, with a faint golden glow. Then, the old man assigned Yachen another errand task, asking him to call Zhangyaya over. Zhangyaya was obviously the daughter of the widow Lu. Yachen quickly found her according to the task prompts and found that Yaya was only a lowly of 8 or 9 years old. Yaya, come, wash your eyes in this water, the old man smiled kindly. Although Yaya was puzzled, she did it obediently. Then her eyes were washed clearer and watery. Yuchen saw this and was moved. If he washed his eyes, wouldn't he be able to learn the identification technique? The old man seemed to have seen through his thoughts. He flicked his beard and said, "Young man, don't think about it. I won't easily pass on my identification technique." Yuchen laughed awkwardly. Then, after another careful test, the old man finally confirmed that Yaya had a talent for identification. His old eyes were smiling and he was very pleased. "Next, Yaya, you identify this," the old man said, and took out the red belly band from his arms. With his strength, he could easily identify it. The reason why he didn't identify it was that he wanted to test Yaya's ability. "Grandpa, you old pervert. You actually stole someone's belly band." The little Lolita blushed. The old man calmly pointed at Yechen and said, "It's none of Grandpa's business. He stole it. I #at UN\U0026." Yechen opened his mouth, and 1,000 grass mud horses galloped through his heart. Fortunately, Zhang Yaya was simple-minded. After glaring at Yechen, she began to identify the belly band. A red light flashed, and the belly band was completely new. Red floral belly band, fashion physical strength add 2. It's actually a fashion with added attributes. Yechen's pupils contracted. You know, the fashion that players spend RMB to buy in the fashion store has no attributes and cannot be traded again. And this kind of fashion with added attributes is very rare and can be traded. You can imagine its value. It's a pity that Yechen can't wear this belly band. Of course, this is not the main reason. He can't wear it, but he can give it to Yun Chiener as a gift. The most important thing is that this belly band is a relic of Yaya's father, and she can't give it up. After the identification was successful, Yaya was very happy. This meant that she could make a living from this in the future, and she would not have to move out of Baiyun City with Widow Lu. After Yaya ran away excitedly holding her belly band, the old man looked at Yuchen again and suddenly said mysteriously, "Young man, my real identity is actually the preacher of the God of Light, Oka. If you are willing, accept my test, I can make you a believer of God, and even give you the identification technique." "Sorry." Yechen refused without thinking. "You know, every character has only one chance to become a believer of the gods, so you must choose carefully. The gods pursue different things. Some want powerful strength, some want intelligence, agility, physical strength, and even various attribute enhancements. In Yechen's mind, the first choice is attribute enhancement, but there are 4 types of attribute enhancement: fire, ice, light, and darkness. He has no choice for the time being, because he doesn't know which path he will take in the future. This depends on the development in the later stage. The second is strength or agility. And Oka, he knows, is a superior god who pursues intelligence. Very powerful. However, for him, intelligence is useless, so he doesn't consider it at all. "Hey, it seems that you have a better choice," the old man sighed, but didn't say more. Yechen nodded, said goodbye, and then went to the Tower of Death. When fighting the void, he somehow released the somersault cloud, which was unexpectedly very useful. He didn't receive any attacks for a whole minute. This is not because the void is not attacking, but because the somersault cloud is too big and he can't reach it. Haha, is this possible? Just lying down and increasing the number of miss. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, Ba Wang Shi-san. Chapter 106. Deng Liang's boss was robbed, and he was depressed and found Gao Ming. Now Gao Ming is a member of the Hall of Fame, and replaced Zhan Hao as the 3rd captain of the Hall of Fame. His cousin is the president of the Hall of Fame, and his personal strength is also very good, which is quite appreciated by the hall master Ao Wushuan. Now his status is no longer what it used to be. Big guilds like them, giants, especially like to support bosses. After all, boss experience is rich and the benefits are also very considerable, so there are fixed members every day to guard the boss. Now, Deng Liang has surrendered to Gao Ming, and Gao Ming is also very face-saving, giving him the Monkey King. It's a pity. You can't even guard a boss. And you were wiped out by Ye Chen, that SB? If I were you, I would have deleted the game and stopped playing, and you still have the nerve to come and tell me. Gao Ming was furious when he heard it, and scolded Deng Liang. Deng Liang's eyes flashed with anger. A few days ago, Gao Ming led the team by himself, but was tricked by Ye Chen, which led to the team's annihilation. He knew this. In other words, Gao Ming only allowed himself to make mistakes. If others made a mistake, he would start to rant. Gao Ming, Mr. Gao, I didn't do this well, but Ye Chen is really good at the game, so I hope you can help me deal with him. Deng Liang was unhappy, but he didn't dare to vent to Gao Ming, so he could only swallow his anger and say, "Okay, you are responsible for finding someone. Notify me when you find him, and I will send someone to kill him." Since taking office as the captain, Gao Ming's time has become tight. He is almost too busy to open up new maps and guard the boss every day. But as long as he thinks about being able to deal with Ye Chen, he would rather put aside all important matters temporarily. On the other side, Ye Chen lay comfortably on the somersault cloud, brushing Miss as steady as a dog. Because it was a hidden task, he didn't know the current progress, but according to the attack frequency of the void, it would attack at least 30 times a minute, which means that the number of misses in a minute reached 30 times. About half an hour later, the system prompt came. System, congratulations on completing the hidden task Sharp Perceiver, and get 1 million experience rewards, 10 silver coins, and the title Perceiver. Perceiver, purple quality. Level 1. Strength add 5. Agility add 5. Stamina add 5. Intelligence add 10. Spirit add 10. Special effect, perception add 2. Note, this item cannot be traded. Because this hidden task is not the only one, Ye Chen did not receive the system broadcast even if he was the first to complete this task. The generous experience value reward made Ye Chen level up to level 12, and then called out the title book and put the newly obtained perceiver into the title grid. At this moment, he seemed to have opened his mind, and his soul trembled. He opened the sea of consciousness, as if a camera was installed in it, and he could sense everything within a radius of 2 yards. In this way, he doesn't have to be timid in the wild and afraid of thieves' sneak attacks. Coupled with the powerful combat power and the mysterious Yao He, his single-player ability is not invincible, but it is also very strong. But in group battles, he is still at a disadvantage. It's not just him, this is a common problem for all thieves and even assassins. They are the kings in the shadows, who can cut off the enemy's back row in an instant, but after the opponent reacts, they will immediately send out soldiers to kill them instantly. Before, Ye Chen was able to single out Deng Liang's team, which was also a trick. He made full use of the cover of the clouds. Without the clouds, the opponent can find him and besiege and kill him. In other words, the reason why thieves are powerful is that they can be invisible. In addition, there is the strongest high burst. For example, other professions can also take invisibility potion to be invisible, but can they kill people in seconds? Not necessarily, because thieves are the profession with the strongest explosive power, no one else. And thieves also have stun clubs, which other professions don't have. If you hit someone, they will immediately counterattack. However, whether it is stealth or invisibility potion, once entering the attack state, the figure will be revealed, and it will be cancelled from the combat state after 5 seconds. 5 seconds is a bit long. but there is a potion that can change this time, called Lazy Potion. It can reduce the duration of the attack state by 50%. In other words, after the thief kills someone in seconds, he only needs to hide for 2.5 seconds to become invisible again. In this way, the thief's group combat ability is more than doubled. Corresponding to the Lazy Potion, there is also the Excitement Potion, which is exclusive to the Berserker. When the Berserker attacks, he can accumulate rage points. The higher the points, the stronger the combat power. After accumulating, the whole body emits red light, and the combat power doubles. Enter the domineering state. But when the Berserker cuts someone, for example, the opponent is a thief, he will inevitably chase, and cancel the combat state after 5 seconds, and the rage points will start to drop. And the Excitement Potion extends the duration of the combat state by 50%. That is 7.5 seconds. These two potions sold very well in the previous life. After all, 2.5 seconds can reverse the outcome and even affect the entire battle situation. In addition to these two potions, there are two other advanced potions, namely Lazy Potion and Fighting Spirit Potion. Lazy Potion, within 60 seconds, the duration of the player's attack state is reduced by 80%. War Spirit Potion, within 60 seconds, the duration of the player's attack state is increased by 100%. It seems that the War Spirit Potion is a little more powerful, but in terms of value, the Lazy Potion is far better. After eating the Lazy Potion, the thief will be invisible for 1 second, that is the real killing god. Opening the auction house, Yechen began to search for a material called Lazy Cell. This material is dropped by a level 15 monster Lazy Man. Accumulating 10 Lazy Cells can be exchanged for a bottle of Lazy Potion. The auction house really has this potion, of course, the number is quite rare and the price is expensive. This shows that there are now some high-end players who have opened up the level 15 monster area, which is really awesome. Of course, Yechen also has this ability. Lazy cells are too expensive and there are few of them, so he wants to fight some by himself and make a living on his own. Yechen sold everything he had and bought 100 lazy cells, and exchanged them for 10 bottles of lazy potions from the corresponding NPC, which was considered self-defense. As for the more powerful lazy potion, you need to kill the lazy father, that is, the boss, to get the lazy cell. 1 lazy cell, 1 bottle of lazy potion. The boss refreshes every 24 hours, and the probability of getting lazy cells is not 100%. Such a production volume means that lazy potions cannot be popularized. Even if someone sells it, the price is very expensive. Even for large guilds, unless it is a life and death battle, I am afraid they will not be willing to use it. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 107. System, you discovered Sunset Mountain, recognition add 2. About half an hour later, Yechen came to a mountain covered in red clouds. On the mountainside, a red sun slowly set, but it seemed that it would never fall. In this way, Sunset Mountain forms an eternal sunset scene, but of course it loses the artistic conception of a real sunset. Yechen walked into Sunset Mountain and saw a forest in front of him, with some lazy people lying on the grass. They are about half the size of a human, with arms and legs. Their eyes are dull and sleepy, with dark circles like pandas. They seem to never get enough sleep. The lazy man is actually a kind of ape, but he is not an ordinary ape, because they are very lazy, so lazy. Even if they are attacked, they don't bother to fight back. When you are hungry, you eat the grass near your mouth. When all the grass is eaten, you turn over reluctantly. But they have a characteristic, that is, once their health drops to 20%, they will go berserk. Even though they are so lazy, they are actually quite powerful. They deal high damage, are fast, and can flexibly shuttle through the forest to chase down enemies that anger it. At this time, There are many players here to play lazy people, and all of them are thieves. They have obviously experienced bloody lessons and tested out the characteristics of the lazy man, and now they are killing very smoothly. After all, the lazy man is too lazy. Generally, experienced players will first use normal attacks to stabilize its HP a little above 20%, and then explode in seconds. These thieves are very professional. They work in pairs and harvest lazy people with ease. You know, the lazy man is a level 15 monster. Now that they kill monsters beyond the level, they have a lot of experience. What's more important is that they seem to be a collective and have taken care of the lazy man map, which means that they have almost a monopoly on the lazy man potion. Most of the lazy potions that Yechen bought at the auction house just now were sold by them. Friend, this place has been reserved by our Assassins Guild. Please leave. Of course, if you need the lazy potion, you can buy it directly from us and we will give you a 10% discount. As a lazy voice sounded, a thief player walked towards Yechen, standing 5 yards apart. He glanced at Yechen and said with a smile, "Assassin's Guild." Yechen muttered silently, not surprised at all. At this stage, those who have the ability to control the map and play Monopoly are basically very large guilds. The Killers Guild is one of them. The person talking to Yechen at this moment is probably one of the cotters of the Assassin's Guild. This guy actually wants to make extra money. He secretly sells the guild's property at a 10% discount. What the hell? However, although the cotter said it politely, Yechen keenly observed that the cotter's right hand held the dagger backwards with the sharp blade facing inward, which was the posture of a sap. The two sides met 5 yards apart, which was exactly the distance of a quick walk. What does this mean? Obviously, before Yechen, there must have been many passers-by and thieves who came to Sunset Mountain, wanting to buy some lazy cells in exchange for lazy potions for their own use, so as not to spend a huge price to buy them. The Killers Guild has reserved this map and has a monopoly on the lazy potion. They are indeed capable of taking advantage of this. If anyone wants to take away their jobs, of course they will not do it. As a result, there will definitely be some thieves who are unwilling to accept this and will use stealth to force their way in. At that time, the cotters will rush over quickly, and after the sap, they will kill instantly with one set. Now facing Yechen, he is the same way. As long as Yechen dares to sneak in, he will definitely eradicate him. It's a pity that he may not have the strength. I'll leave in 10 minutes. I won't delay anything for you. Yechen tried to make the final communication and coordination. After all, he didn't want to offend the murder guild unless it was absolutely necessary. Although he had already killed their vice president alone, a bloodbath. Haha, you're a rookie. I already said that the venue is reserved, don't you understand? The cotter sneered and said, if you want to buy potions, just talk, or get out, I don't have time to talk nonsense with you. Seeing that there was no business, the cotter's tone suddenly became impatient. Huh, stubborn. Yechen sneered and summoned Lisa. The other party was stunned for a second, then sneered, actually bypassed Lisa, and continued to rush towards Yechen. Yechen summoned Lisa because he wanted to deceive the other party into attacking her maliciously. In this case, he would not be guilty of killing her. But now, the other party obviously wasn't fooled. Yechen didn't pay too much attention, and as expected, Xiaohei jumped out, aimed at the opponent's throat, and wiped his throat. -465. As huge injuries appeared, the cotter's throat was cut open, his eyes were filled with disbelief, and then he fell softly. Instant kill. At this stage, the thief's HP does not exceed 200 without accumulating physical strength. And Xiaohei possesses Yechen's super high attributes, and can easily kill the opponent's cotter with just one wipe. Of course, Yechen doesn't have much HP. The Great Good Man and the Preceptor have added a total of 15 points of physical strength to him. His current HP is 320 points. It was about twice as many as thieves of the same level, but compared to berserkers and even shield warriors, it was still pitiful. If you encounter someone with high damage, you will be killed instantly if you are not careful. After all, the assassin's defense is not good either. The boss of Wang Chen has been killed. This thief is a bit obsessed, let's all come together. The death of the cotter shocked the thieves, who quickly gave up attacking the lazy man and instead rushed towards Yuchen. Because they were just attacking the lazy old man, they were still in combat mode. They had to wait 5 seconds before they could cancel the combat mode and use stealth. But Yuchen was different. Xiao He was Xiao He, and he was him. Xiao He's killing just now had nothing to do with him. He was not in combat mode now. Stealth. Lazy potion. Yuchen stole decisively, knocked off a bottle of lazy potion, and rushed towards the enemy in the dark with Xiao He. This thief is a bit weird. A thief who rushed to the front was killed by Yuchen before he finished speaking. But at the same time, he also showed up. Wind step. The thieves turned on the acceleration buff and besieged Yuchen, but a huge inflated somersault cloud appeared, and Yuchen jumped on it directly, and quickly distanced himself from the thieves. The LV1 wind step increases the movement speed by 2%, which is not at the same level as the inflated somersault cloud, which increases by 10%. Moreover, Yuchen's dark cloak is a gold equipment, which adds 80 points of agility. In other words, the foundations of both sides are different. Such a big somersault cloud, this thief is not an ordinary 666. The thieves were shocked, and screams were heard from time to time. It turned out that Xiao He had rushed into the middle of them and started to slaughter them. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 108. 2.5 seconds later, Yuchen re-entered the invisible state, jumped off the somersault cloud, and jumped into the enemy again. Together with Xiao He, they killed the enemy to a pulp in an instant. Evil. This thief is too greedy. Let's move away. The last few thieves on the enemy side, seeing that something was wrong, hurriedly disappeared in stealth. However, writing this, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network. Rightward arrow circled M. Bloody eyes. Yuchen's eyes suddenly flashed with red light, and he jumped into the fleeing enemy group again. He quickly harvested 2 more people and continued to pursue the remaining enemies. Now that he has become famous, he cannot return to the city. He can only stay in the wild and use up his sin points. If he is merciful and leaves a few people behind, it will leave hidden dangers. Therefore, even if it is to survive, he must kill all his enemies. Of course, forcing the opponent back to the city will have the same effect. Therefore, Yuchen is like the god of death in the darkness. He can see the enemy, but the enemy cannot see him. After killing another person, he saw no more enemies wherever his bloody eyes passed. It was obvious that the remaining enemies had been forced back into the city by him. The opponent has suffered such a big loss and will not give up this monster area. They will definitely send more people to surround me and kill me. Yuchen pondered in his heart. It takes at least half an hour to get to Sunset Mountain from Baiyun City, so there shouldn't be any danger if you just leave by yourself in 10 minutes. However, he did not know that he had already been targeted by Deng Liang's people and contacted Gao Ming. There were about 5 to 60 people from both sides rushing towards this monster area. Let alone half an hour, they will arrive on the battlefield in less than 10 terrifying minutes. About 5 minutes later, the 3 thieves rushed over first. They saw Yuchen harvesting the lazy men, smiled at each other, and then sneaked towards Yuchen to attack. The thieves in the early stage are quite fierce, with the ability to cut through the back row in seconds, as well as any squishy profession. They work together to besiege one person, and they are invincible. However, when they rushed towards Yuchen and were within a yard of each other, Yuchen suddenly felt something in his sea of consciousness. With a look in his eyes, Yechen and Xiaohei released the poisonous mist. The poisonous gas quickly spread to a radius of 5 yards, causing all enemies within the range to suffer a fixed damage of 200 points, and the HP of these 3 thieves did not exceed 200. Just hang up. Perception. Before dying, the 3 of them were shocked by the high damage caused by the poisonous mist, but what was even more shocking was that Yuchen, a human thief, actually also had perception. What the hell? Boy, don't be complacent. Young Master Gao and Young Master Deng are right behind you. They will bring people over right away and will kill you in seconds. Although the 3 of them died, they were lying on the ground without returning to the city to resurrect. At this moment, they were typing on the public channel to scare Yechen, as if saying a few harsh words could show how awesome they were. Thanks for the reminder. I'm leaving. Yechen originally thought that these 3 people were passers-by, and he didn't care if he killed them. Now that the other party had made it clear, he quickly thanked them, turned around and rushed towards the depths of Sunset Mountain. Damn, you bastard, what did you say to him? He scared me away. When the time comes, young Master Gao will come over and he might scold us. I'm SB? Damn, you didn't say anything just now. Seeing that Yechen left without even looking back, the 3 of them looked at each other, as if they had eaten flies, and then started to blame their teammates. Not long after, Gao Ming arrived with his army and saw 3 corpses in front of him. A handsome face was drawn up like a long bow, with veins curling up. Son, do you 3 fight 1, or do you attack first by sneak attack? Can't you kill him like this? You are still playing J8, delete your account as soon as possible. No, Mr. Gao, that kid is very evil. A human thief actually has sentience. The 3 of them knew they were in the wrong and hurriedly typed in a low voice on the public channel. I feel paralyzed. I just hanged up when I hung up, and you still found a ridiculous excuse. He went into the mountains. Gao Ming roared angrily. After roaring for a few words, he exhaled a breath and asked about Yuchen's whereabouts. After receiving a positive answer, he waved his hand and rushed into Sunset Mountain with his army, ignoring the danger. However, Yuchen had already laid an ambush, because he did not dare to advance rashly deeper into Sunset Mountain. He might as well kill Gao Ming and others halfway up the mountain. Gao Ming and others did not know the danger and resolutely rushed into the mountain. From time to time, screams broke out and they were immediately nailed to the ground. It turned out that Yechen had already planted a large number of thumbtacks on this land. Seeing that the time had come, Yechen hid his figure in the darkness, rushed forward and killed a priest instantly with a dagger, and then slashed 2 more people with 2 knives. What are you doing, mage? Open fire. Gao Ming's feet were nailed and he couldn't move. He roared suddenly. Hearing this, all the mages and archers hurriedly opened fire. However, at this moment, Yuchen had already started running and swept out 5 yards away, causing the opponent's attack to fail. At the same time, the opponent began to focus fire for the second time. Somersault cloud. Yechen jumped on the somersault cloud again, like driving a suspended car, swaying left and right, drifting in various ways. The opponent's long-range skills exploded like firecrackers on his left and right sides, but they couldn't hit him. Hiss. Seeing Yechen suddenly release such a huge somersault cloud, everyone was shocked and gasped. Especially Deng Liang, his eyes were wide open and as red as blood. Just an hour ago, Yechen snatched the Monkey King from his team, so this unusually huge somersault cloud was probably caused by the Monkey King. Damn it, this big somersault cloud should have been his. At this moment, everyone got rid of the thumbtacks and rushed towards Yuchen viciously. Especially Deng Liang, he already hated him, but now that Yuchen actually released somersault clouds to attract his hatred, he became even more hateful. Warrior charges. Stand back remotely and continue attacking, Gao Ming roared, treating Ye Chen as if he were a boss. However, even so, it is still useless. In just 2.5 seconds, Ye Chen disappeared again, along with the somersault cloud. Everyone looked at each other in confusion, and the air around them was tense and seemed extremely dull and depressing. Puff. There was a sudden sound, and an archer in the back row had his throat cut and fell to the ground dead. What the hell, he's sneaking behind again, chase him, Gao Ming suddenly turned around and shouted. He was a demon swordsman, and his equipment was shining. He had already rushed forward with the other warriors. However, at this moment, Ye Chen circled around and got behind them again. So, they had to turn around and rush to the rear again, like monkeys being teased. However, at this moment, they were too late. Ye Chen raised his sword and got close to each of the mages, priests, and archers, killing them all instantly with one strike. When Gao Ming waited for the soldiers to rush in, Ye Chen jumped on the somersault cloud and escaped, leaving many distant corpses behind. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, Ba Wang Shi-san. Chapter 109. Gao Ming and the others were full of anger, but they felt cold in their hearts. With so many people, they couldn't beat a thief. Ye Chen, you coward. Come out if you dare, let's fight with strength. Seeing Ye Chen disappear again in a blink of an eye, Gao Ming was so angry that he wanted to curse. Immediately, an orc berserker behind him screamed and fell into a dizzy state. Swish. Ye Chen slashed twice and took away a berserker in an instant. Everyone felt colder and more shocked. If only the back row was killed instantly, it would be understandable. After all, the HP of the fragile profession is quite low, but the berserker is different. At this stage, even if the berserker does not deliberately push his physical strength, his HP can be 700 or 800 points. With a little purple armor, it will definitely exceed 1000. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow digit GWU. Even so, Ye Chen can kill instantly. This damage is too horrible. However, Ye Chen killed one person, but he was not in a hurry to escape, because at this time his combo points had accumulated to the full value of 7 points. Roll. Ye Chen rolled on the ground and rushed towards a shield warrior. In the shocked and puzzled eyes of the other party, he licked his neck with a knife. Throat slitting plus final blow equals a sure kill. A dazzling red light flashed, and everyone couldn't help but narrow their eyes slightly, but saw the shield warrior companion, falling down softly. Shit, the big dragon's HP exceeded 1500, and the physical defense was also several hundred, but it was still killed in seconds. Gao Ming's eyes flickered. He had amazing equipment, but he thought that the damage was not as good as Ye Chen, and he couldn't even reach his feet. Mr. Gao, what's the matter with that red light? I don't remember the thief having a skill that emits red light, Deng Liang shouted. I don't know. Could it be that Ye Chen, this idiot, got the top position in the alliance last month and changed his job to a hidden profession? Gao Ming was also puzzled, but he was very smart. He guessed it randomly and actually guessed it right, but there was no reward for this. No way. This kid is a loser in real life. Although he is a bit good at playing games, I don't believe he can get the top position. Gao Ming's eyes flickered. Although he said this, his heart was beating. The red light was too strange. It was not an ordinary skill. More importantly, even if he didn't want to admit it, Ye Chen's strength was indeed very strong. So much so that even if they 50 or 60 people joined forces to besiege him, they still had no way to deal with it. Instead, half of them were chopped down by Ye Chen. The two of them talked while leading the team to rush towards Ye Chen. However, 2.5 seconds later, Ye Chen disappeared into the darkness again. What the hell is this? Gao Ming was so angry that he almost went berserk, but although he had a bad temper, his brain worked well. Soon, he thought of a way to make all the soldiers gather together. In this way, if Ye Chen dares to come, they can attack in an instant. However, with a whoosh, a black dart flew out and hit him in the face. At the same time, Ye Chen also stood 15 yards away from them. Gao Ming reached out and touched his face hit by the dart, and he was angry. Chase, they can't catch up with Ye Chen, surround and wait, this guy can actually use darts to attack remotely, and, Grandma, don't darts have no attack power? Why is the damage still so high? How much power does he have? Ye Chen sneered, summoned the somersault cloud, sat on it, and threw darts at everyone's face one after another. Anyway, the opponents are all surrounded together, he doesn't need to aim, just throw randomly, and he can still hit. As for whether he can hit Gao Ming, he doesn't care. Bang, bang, bang. -112, -132, -124. This dart has such high damage, how much power does he have? The soldiers were shocked. You know, Ye Chen threw some rubbish darts bought from the store, which did not add any attack power, that is, the damage of the darts was his pure power. They were all warriors, wearing light armor or even armor, with high defense, but they were still hit by more than 100 points of damage, which was enough to show how terrifying Ye Chen's power was. However, Ye Chen himself was not satisfied, because Xiao He had no darts in his hand, that is, when he threw darts, Xiao He could not attack with him, otherwise the damage would double again, that would be awesome. Unfortunately, this would never be possible. Charge, Gao Ming was arrogant and naturally did not want to stand and be beaten. He roared and led the army to kill. However, the somersault cloud was moving fast, and they could not catch up at all, and they also lacked long-range attack means. At the same time, seeing that they were gathered together, Ye Chen did not dare to rush up, so he used darts to slowly consume them. We can't fight, forget it, let's go back. Gao Ming is not stupid. He knows that he can't do anything to Ye Chen now, so he ordered a retreat. After returning, he must buy a set of purple clothes inlaid with agility puzzles. Come back for revenge. Everyone was relieved when they heard this, after all, they didn't want to drop in level. Then, everyone crushed and returned to the city, and their figures faded, and disappeared into white light in less than a second. However, Gao Ming and a few others were hit by Ye Chen's darts before, and they were still in the attack state. And when in the attack state, the teleportation stone cannot be used. Everyone run separately and find a chance to return to the city. Gao Ming stared at Ye Chen gloomily, gave an order, and then ran to the jungle in front of the left. After saying this, the rest of the people scattered like birds and beasts. Ye Chen ignored the others, patted the butt of the somersault cloud, and rushed towards Gao Ming quickly. When the two sides were 5 yards apart, Ye Chen jumped off the somersault cloud. Ye Chen, you trash, you coward, you stinky loser. If you have the guts, let's fight alone, don't use invisibility and be a coward, Gao Ming shouted angrily, and in addition to the rage in his eyes, there was also a hint of nervousness. This feeling made him feel very absurd. He was a great young master, and if he stomped his feet slightly, the whole Linhai city would tremble slightly. On the contrary, Ye Chen was just a useless loser. Facing him, he would be nervous. Ye Chen stared at him and sneered in his heart. Thieves don't use invisibility. Then why should he play a thief? However, although he sneered in his heart, he said, "Okay, let's fight alone." After saying this, he reversed his grip on the dagger and rushed towards Gao Ming. Seeing that he was not invisible, Gao Ming was delighted, his face became arrogant again, and he rushed out in anger. However, when the two sides were no more than 2 yards apart, Ye Chen magically disappeared. You lied to me." Gao Ming was stunned, and after reacting, he roared loudly. However, the next moment, he felt a pain in the back of his head, followed by another pain. He was hit twice and his firm will was broken. "SB, I lied to you, so what? I'll still chop you." Ye Chen sneered, raised a wicked smile at the corner of his mouth, and after backstabbing, he went around in front of Gao Ming, cut his throat plus finishing blow equals a sure kill. Red light flashed. Seconds. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 110. The red flame dagger brought a flash of red light, licked Gao Ming's neck, and instantly cut it. The latter widened his eyes in disbelief and fell limply on the ground. Surprisingly, a long sword with a purple glow burst out. Obsidian long sword, purple grade. Level 10. Attack power, 135-156. Strength add 30. Intelligence add 30. Special effect, intelligence add 50. LV2 puzzle effect, intelligence add 16. Well, not bad. Ye Chen glanced at the properties of the purple longsword and smiled. The magic swordsman profession is different from other professions. They practice both magic and martial arts. The weapons of other professions either increase physical attack power or increase magic attack power, but the weapons of the magic swordsman increase both. The weapons are like this, but their skills are very scattered. Some have pure physical damage, some have pure magic damage, and only a few special skills have mixed physical and magic damage, and the percentage is not high. This results in the low plasticity of the magic swordsman. If you specialize in one skill, then you will have fewer skills than other professions, half as many. If you practice both skills, it will be difficult, and you need to be able to change your clothes easily, and the investment will be huge, otherwise the damage will not be enough. But even so, the magic swordsman is still the most popular profession in Dream World, without a doubt. Because the profession setting is too cool, the skills are too gorgeous, and too cool, it is not only the favorite of the rich, but also very popular among ordinary players. This results in the magic swordsman's weapons, equipment, and even professional skills being very expensive. This obsidian longsword is not a top-notch product, but it is not bad, with double intelligence effects, and Gao Ming also specially played an intelligence puzzle, which is equivalent to a triple intelligence effect. It is very suitable for magic swordsmen who practice single cultivation and single magic attack. This longsword is worth at least 20 gold coins. Ye Chen glanced at the level list of the light camp and found that the first group of people had reached level 14. It would probably not take long for them to reach level 15. Therefore, he did not rush to throw the longsword into the auction house, but first used the forging technique to upgrade it to level 15, and then set the price to 50 gold coins and threw it into the auction house. Although some big guilds and big forces have already opened up to level 15 or even higher level maps, there must be people who have dropped level 15 purple equipment. But that is a minority after all, and big guilds usually use good equipment for themselves. They will put it on the market only when they don't need it. Therefore, there are basically no level 15 purple equipment on the market now. The one that Ye Chen put up is probably the only one, and 50 gold coins is not too little. If he is not extremely short of money, he can change the price of 50 gold coins to the auction price and collect it after 24 hours, and the profit will be greater. As for why he didn't mail this purple suit to the 3 tanks to help sell it? Because it was unnecessary. Because he had the forging skill, he had the ability to mass-produce purple suits. If he sold it alone, it would inevitably attract widespread attention from outsiders, and even be targeted. But if it was 1 or 2 pieces, there would be no problem. Then, Ye Chen began to clean up the spoils of PK. In just a short while, he received many private chats. It was nothing more than bargaining, and there were many scammers, various sisters sleeping with him, one piece of equipment in exchange for a real shot, and other boring messages. After a while, he received a voice, which made him stunned, because only his friends could send voice requests. At first glance, it was Mai Shiranui. Yechen, I like that level 15 purple longsword. Can I trade it in RMB? After the call was connected, Huo Wu's ethereal voice sounded. Khan, I'm short of money now. Please try to give me game coins. Whatever you have, I'll take. Since Huo Wu wanted it, he naturally had to give face, but he was now more short of game coins than RMB. I can only spare 20 gold coins for now. I can transfer the remaining 3,000 yuan to you, Huo Wu said. Okay. Yechen reluctantly agreed, and soon received an email with 20 gold coins from Huo Wu. Then, he also took the obsidian sword off the shelf and mailed it to Huo Wu. Opening the auction house, Yechen began to search for the thief's skill book. Wind Step, a common skill of thieves at level 10, the cheapest is 10 gold coins. Spinning Stab, a common skill of thieves at level 15, the cheapest is 45 gold coins. Hidden Weapon Specialization, a rare skill of thieves at level 10, the cheapest is 80 gold coins. Shadow Strike, a rare skill of thieves at level 15, the cheapest is 120 gold coins. After bidding farewell to the novice village, players can only learn the skills of the later stage through skill books. Because of this, the price of skill books is very expensive. Forget it, let's buy a wind step first. Yechen looked at the prices of these skills, his mouth twitched, and he bought a wind step at a loss. He wanted the remaining skills very much, but he couldn't afford them. Not long after, Huo Wu sent another voice message. Yechen, I heard that you killed a blood kill last time, and now you have taken a map that their guild has reserved. It's awesome. Hearing the teasing in Huo Wu's tone, Yechen couldn't help but smile bitterly and said, Master, don't laugh at me now. My sin value is close to 100 points. If I am killed by them, I will be locked up in a small dark room for 3 or 4 days. Now I am trembling with fear. Haha. Huo Wu laughed so hard that she fell backwards. She knew that Yechen was joking. After all, how could he be so scared if he dared to do this? However, she also guessed Yechen's difficult situation now, and said boldly, It's okay, Sister Huo Wu will protect you. Isn't it the Killer Guild? Isn't it the Blood Killer? They dare not touch you. Really, Yechen was stunned. It was very nice to be protected by a beautiful woman, but he didn't want to implicate Huo Wu. Don't worry, let's form a team. I will take people there immediately. Huo Wu said the last word and hung up the voice. Then. System, player I don't know Fire Mai invites you to join her team. Do you accept it? Yes. After forming a team, Yechen went down the Sunset Mountain, but found that the intersection had been blocked by people. It was the Killer Guild. They really didn't give up. The leader was Blood Killer. Among them, Yechen also found a few familiar faces, which were Stinger and Chidori, who had a feud in the novice village. They were also there during the blockade. You elves, block the intersection for me. Shueisha was furious. When he heard that the territory of Lazy Man Wen was taken by Yechen, he rushed over immediately. Damn it, killing me once was not enough? Stealing the chief was not enough? Now you are stealing my territory? Shueisha had never felt so aggrieved.